So I just gave you a pretty rudimentary overview of like what JSONB is. We're not going to go much further than that, but I think you kind of get the point, right? You can kind of treat it as like a document on all of your rows. You can have like multiple JSONB columns per row, but why? You could put them all into one JSONB. That's what I tend to do, but that's totally up to you. It's how you want to model your data. So I use it a lot when I'm doing Postgres personally. I showed you everything to this point so that you can write Postgres, just how Postgres and SQL historically have always been written. And everything that I've shown you besides the JSONB stuff works across all databases, basically. A lot of the queries that we've written will work just copy and paste directly into MySQL, into IBM DB2, all that kind of stuff, because they're all SQL spec compliant. The JSONB stuff is actually specific to Postgres, so this doesn't exist necessarily in other databases. Part of the reason why I chose to teach you Postgres as opposed to like SQLite or something like that is because I think this is one of the most compelling things about Postgres.
Why would you use JSONB in Postgres instead of Mongo?
If you still wanted to have like all of the power and like the joining and the unions and all that kind of stuff that comes from Postgres, the other thing is Postgres, I might get a little, this is an opinion at this point. Postgres is way more reliable than Mongo. Like, I think it's just a better product. It's been around longer, there's more eyes on it. It's a very war-hardened database. All of Reddit for years and years and years has run on Postgres, and they have billions and billions of rows. There are other companies that are doing big things on Mongo. Stripe is one of them, right? It's just problems all the time. Yeah, I think between the reliability and you have both the power of a relational database meshed together with the power of a document database, I just think it's better. If I was going to build a company today, definitely would choose Postgres as just like a general purpose database. So I just wanted to throw out there when I think you should use JSONB. I use JSONB a lot. I have throughout since it's been out and available. When I have one-to-many relationships, I tend to use it quite a bit. Specifically, I tend to not use a second table. I tend to just throw it in JSONB. It makes it really easy. If you ever have like heterogeneous kind of information, it's a really good place to say it, to use it. Like, let's say our recipes, like we had like nutritional information, right? And we have like a bunch of different types of nutritional information, and some is going to have some parts of the nutritional information, other parts, like these things all have like iron and like, I don't know, potassium, whereas these other things only have vitamin C. And rather than trying to store every single permutation of nutrition on every single row, that would be a really good use case for a JSONB kind of situation. I probably would have done our photos in JSONB. We did tags. That's a pretty good use case for it. So the thing that you kind of want to think about when you're choosing, should I put this in JSONB or should I put this just as like a normal column? If every single row has it, make it a column, right? Because then you can do things like joins and other things like that. You can do joins on JSONB. It gets weird though. If you have any sort of like constraints that you need to enforce, like not null, or if you need to enforce so that it's unique or things like that, that's a really good use case for making a column, not necessarily JSONB. If you have unbounded data like tags, where you can have 100 tags or 5 tags, that's a good case for JSONB. And if everything you have is like a heterogeneous piece of information and you're never doing any joins, you should just use Mongo and not use Postgres at all. If you're doing joins at all, never use Mongo. Just from the depths of my soul, I implore you to never use Mongo if you're going to try and do joins. I will not work at your company if I go in there and I see that it has Mongo and there are joins. That's actually real. I would not. I'm probably making someone feel real bad about something right now, but I have just scars, which is why I'm saying that.